So yes, here we are, and welcome. Welcome to our celebration of Imbolc, and I think technically speaking, depending on which way you calculate it, Imbolc itself might be tomorrow, the 1st of February, or it might have been last Thursday on the full moon. Anyway, we're in the time of Imbolc, this time where the Celtic festival would have been celebrated, honouring Brigid, honouring the first hint of spring. It's that first little bit of encouragement after these long, long dark days, short dark days, long dark nights of the winter. And it's not that that's over yet, but it's that we're just, if we look in nature, we're beginning to see the clues and the hints that the end might come, that the warmer, longer days might return. So maybe there are the first snowdrops, maybe the first sense that the grass might be beginning to grow.
A little bit more bird song.
I was going to say,
noticing.
Just the other day I suddenly noticed that the birds were hanging out in pairs and doing a lot of flirting with each other, and I think, and it was just quite a lot warmer one morning recently, and there were lots of those little gnats in the air, and the birds were getting excited about those as well. So it comes and goes for a while, but the longer days and the warmer sun is returning, the growth time of year. And I'm seeing in the comments, things are not necessarily on a global political scale going to be much different, but there's something about when the sun is out and there's more light in the world, it's somehow, for me, a bit easier to navigate that. And of course there's a lot more about finding that inside in the way that we can bring it with us wherever we go, no matter what's happening and no matter how dark the days are. So we've got our Brigid candle, our Imbolc candle here on the screen, and we'll be returning to that here and there through this morning's session. But let's invoke in our usual way. And again, this invocation calls on the light. It calls on us to recognize ourselves as embodying that light. Towards the One, the perfection of love, harmony and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the message, the mystery, the miracle, the Mother, the Spirit of guidance. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So we're going to begin with a song and a dance with words in English, which draw on the Celtic tradition, on this sense of the wise earth and how she is still asleep, but she's dreaming. She's beginning to stir in her sleep. The earth that is wise and old, the earth that is wise and old,
the earth that is wise and old,
the earth that is wise and old dreams in her sleep and stirs.
The earth that is wise and old dreams in her sleep and stirs.
This is how it goes. The earth that is wise and old. The earth that is wise and old. The earth that is wise and old dreams in her sleep and stirs. Sing with me. The earth that is wise and old. The earth that is wise and old. The earth that is wise and old dreams in her sleep and stirs. So we'll move with these words. If you want to join us, please feel free. And, yeah, can you just tilt it back? Thank you. Keep going, that's good. So we start with our left foot, we're sidestepping. The earth that is wise and old. And now we do one to the right. The earth that is wise and old. And one to the right. The earth that is wise and old. And one to the right. And this time we're going to keep going to the left, and when we sing stirs, the arms are going to come slowly up. This is like the first movements of growth in the earth. The earth that is dreams, sorry. Dreams in her sleep and stirs. And for that one we just kept going to the left. So every other time the final step is to the right. So we can kind of adjust so we don't wander too far off screen like that. Let's try it through and hopefully keep going. But I really invite you to, it's quite a meditative chant this, to go within and to feel yourself in the earth, under the earth, to feel what your first stirrings of movement might be for this new year, and to tune into that, just those first beginnings of growth. The earth that is wise and old. Step right. The earth that is wise and old. The earth that is wise and old. Dreams in her sleep and stirs. The earth that is wise and old. The earth that is wise and old. The earth that is wise and old. Dreams in her sleep and stirs. The earth that is wise and old.
that is wise and old. The earth that is wise and old. The earth that is wise and old. Dreams in her sleep
So connecting to the earth through our feet. Maybe we can feel our roots going down into the earth and being nourished by the earth. And just the beginnings of a flow of life and sap coming up from the earth through those roots to nourish our being, nourish our body. Little green shoots beginning to stir. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Somebody was asking about the climate here, and in these temperate isles, these British Isles, these Celtic Isles, surrounded by the sea, we don't tend to go for extremes of temperature. So while it was freezing and snowing a few days ago, and may well do so again, it tends to hover around just above and just below freezing at this time of year. So there's a bit of scope for the shoots to begin to do their work. Onions in my garden. I can see them growing. Not literally see them growing, but I can see the evidence that they are growing.
They've got their little
green shoots.
Green shoots. And Jelani was sort of referring to this earlier, but we can also think of Imbolc as the time when these feminine qualities of intuition and inspiration can begin to arise from our unconscious, the dark, the sort of winter of our sleeping feminine unconscious part, that we can open a space for inspiration, guidance.
The wheel of the Celtic year really takes us on a journey, and it's not unconnected with the medicine wheels of the native peoples of North America. But this sense of understanding ourselves through the turning of the wheel of the year. And as Salik was mentioning, one way to understand it is through the three forms of the goddess: maiden, mother, and crone. And in the late autumn and winter, the earth really entered her crone phase of going deeply within. Sometimes it appears that life is over. It's patently not true. There's an enormous power in that work of going inwards. All of that nourishing of the seeds and providing of the dark, fertile space, so that when new growth comes, it comes from a well-resourced place. And just coming into this time of the year, when the earth is beginning to stir and wake up, we're really in touch with that very tender maiden part. And obviously, as we go through, as the warmer days and the fertile days of summer, that's when we see her in her mother form with all her children. So we might go straight on to that next dance, actually. So this dance gives names to each of the three ages of the goddess, phases. Anna, Maria, Maria Magdalena.
Anna, Maria, Maria Magdalena.
So these are names from the Christian tradition. And of course, we could use many names. Every culture around the world recognizes these three forms of the goddess and has their own names for different phases of that. So Anna is the old woman at the temple who recognized Jesus when he was brought to the temple as a small child. Maria, his mother, and Maria Magdalena, Mary Magdalene, this wild, free, inspired young woman. And then all of those three forms are brought together in the Shekhinah. Shekhinah.
Shekhinah.
So this is a Hebrew word referring to the divine feminine. So each of these parts of the dance we repeat 3 times, again calling on this triple form of the goddess. And of course at this time of year our particular attention is with the Maria Magdalena, the inspiration, this tender young girl. So much potential yet to come. So let's show you the movements. And you'll hear there's a chord just before we start, and on that chord you step with your right foot opening to the earth. And then we're going to go down to the earth and draw up from the earth, from the Anna, from the grandmother earth. So it looks like that. And then, okay, I'll talk you through the next bit. Then we bring this earth energy up to the heart, where we nurture it in the heart of the mother. And then we open to the heavens, and we do a right turn to this in this free. Is it right or left?
Right.
I think so.
I don't know.
This free, inspired movement, leaning back, ecstatic, open. So let's put those movements together. Anna Maria, Maria Magdalena. I'm going to turn to the left.
It's the feminine.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to do a moon spin to the left, but it's this ecstatic tuning in to the guidance and the intuition, and just free to respond and move with no responsibilities. That's one of the big differences between the maiden and the mother, is the mother has to have a certain structure. You know, you have to be able to care for your children. So you have to know where they're going to sleep. You have to know what they're going to eat. There have to be certain things in place. And the maiden doesn't have that. She doesn't need to. She can just respond freely So let's try that again one more time. So,
Anna Maria, Maria Magdalena.
and of course, just to remind you that all of these qualities of the goddess are present in each one of us. Some of our bodies may be closer to one of those forms than the other. We may be walking maiden or walking mother or walking crone from day to day, but all of these parts of the goddess are present in male and female bodies, and we can access them all. There are times when we need to be able to access our nurturing mother part, or our strong inward crone part, and there are times when we need to be able to access this freedom, this ability to respond to inspiration spontaneously. So we do that 3 times, and then we go to the Shekhinah part, and we're going to walk, and again it's repeated 3 times. So the hands echo the 3 goddesses. So first of all, hands near the earth with Anna, with the grandmother earth. So step Shekhinah. So we step on Na. Shekhinah, 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 Shekhinah. I had to retrieve that from my body memory. I'll just do that again. So you can do a grapevine if you choose. Step right, left in front. Step right, left behind, and then we turn to the right. And then we do it the other way. Shekhinah, Shekhinah. Now with the hands at the heart level. Shekhinah, 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 Shekhinah. And towards the heavens. Shekhinah. Nurturing in our hearts, nurtured in the heart of the mother. Wild inspiration, wild and free. Let's take a few moments in silence just to allow those energies of the triple goddess, maiden, mother, crone, to move through our bodies, to land in our awareness. Shekhinah.
Shekhinah.
So we're going to move to some work with the goddess Brigid, who became a saint in the Celtic Christian church. She was a goddess so beloved of these Celtic Isles that we couldn't let go of her when Christianity moved in, so she took up residence amongst the saints. And her festival is this festival. It became Candlemas in the Christian tradition, and so some of the same qualities to do with light. It was said that when this delicate green growth begins to be sensed and appreciated across the earth, that's Brigid drawing her green mantle over the earth. And she's, as Salit mentioned earlier, she's deeply connected with the worlds of intuition, inner guidance, inner vision. And there's another name for her in the Celtic language, which is Shirachol, which means seek beyond. Seek beyond. So we're going to do a little piece now. We're going to return to our practice of reverie. You might, if you have pencil and paper handy, you might want to write or draw. We're just going to sing to you. Invite that intuition to arise. And then we're going to put you in pairs to so that you can share a little bit of how this intuition might arise for you as to how your year is beginning to grow and move. You want to add anything to that?
Just opening to flashes of inspiration, sparks of intuitive wisdom that are waiting to be found, waiting to poke their heads up through this rich Mother Earth of your being.
So just a technicality, I'd like to invite you that if you would really not want to be sharing in a pair with somebody else, could you send us a message, and then we won't put you in a breakout room. But we hope that you might enjoy this little bit of contact with another person.
I suppose it's just possible if we have an odd number of people who want to be in breakout rooms, there might be a room of 3.
That's true, yes, and we'll have to let the timing work accordingly.
Yeah.
So for this first part, when you're just in reverie, you can just choose to listen to the music and let your mind wander. Just wander through the navigation, through the geography of your inner landscape, and just see what pools there are to look in for wisdom.
And part of our idea was of having the candle is that you could put the candle on sort of speaker view and have it filling your screen, and if you don't have your own candle, you could sort of use this candle to sort of meditate on.
That's right.
Gazing into flames is an amazing thing to do. I can do it for hours, and it can allow intuitions to arise, allow the mind to drift off or to lose its grip.
So the words we're going to sing about Brigid. Oh, Brigid of the green mantle. This is her drawing her green mantle across the earth, the green mantle of the spring growth. Brigid of the blue of the sky, the blue of the sea around these Celtic isles. Brigid of the white merle, this white bird which symbolises the Holy Spirit is one way to understand it. And the fiery arrow. So sometimes Brigid's inspiration can be received like a fiery arrow. So sometimes you might just find it ever so gentle, and other times it really comes like a strike of an arrow. And Shirichol, seek beyond. Start playing, I'm going to speak first. Shirichol, seek beyond. Look upon the sky, so pale. Shirichol, seek beyond. Search behind the clouds of your mind. Shirichol.
Instruments need to be tuned, just like we do. So if you could just tune in, I'll tune in too. Brigid of the blue, oh Brigid of the white merle and
the fiery arrow. O Brigid of the green mantle, Brigid of the blue, O Brigid of the white male and the fiery arrow. Brigid of the green mantle, Brigid of the blue, O Brigid of the white male and the fiery arrow. O Brigid of the green mantle, Brigid of the blue, O Brigid of the white male and the fire